Today is Tuesday, and that means today is Tuesday Weekly Reset. I'm your host, Sebastian. Welcome to the promotion. Go ahead, press it, see what's going on in Destiny 2 at your feet. If you haven't already, you aren't sponsored by Juvie, but zero sugar alternative for a diabetic like me. For a diabetic myself, it's a good alternative. It's hot as fuck out. It's 95 degrees. So, pop a cool one open to a cup of ice. Pour one up if you haven't done that already. Today's flavor, which I'm hoping would be the flavor every time we do Tuesday Reset, it's gonna be blue raspberry. So if you haven't gone to a Dollar Tree, go pick one up. And now he's sponsored by none of them. If you're playing Destiny, go ahead and select your character. Press A to log in. I'm a Titan man. Alright, Solstice is ending soon, so you haven't done Solstice last week. This week might be the last week to go ahead and do it. If you haven't got your Flame Keeper title, go work on that. And yeah, I say go see Miss Eva Levante in the tower. Let's see. Now, disclaimer, if you do hear me talking to myself during the live stream, just know it's probably me talking to the guys on Discord. Also, if you want to get my attention, the best way to do that is going to be in the chat. Or if you're seeing that the next day on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll go ahead and get back to you on there. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow the Cobalt Show Live on Facebook or Instagram. Where every Monday's Paranormal Monday. If you have any paranormal stories, go ahead and drop that in the messages. We'll share it during the live stream or in the comments on YouTube in the Paranormal Monday section. Few targets fire goes from solar damage. This fire team defeat combatants with unstable solar flares or successfully pass the solar flare. Between numbers, complete activities, swap, source the scorched blaze. Complete proto activities that leads to one source of fire activities as scorched swaps. Well, today, I'm going to try to continue the story. Oh, I read something today where the world tab is no longer dull. And it's pre-Edge of Fate art. So let's take a look at that. There we go. Not gray. We got some color in here. Now Destiny looks exciting. Cool. Alright. Some glow in here. Alright. So we're back to the portal. Place an Edge of Fate. Skipping all the side quests for now. We're doing the main quest. Not the modifiers. Okay. See what the guys are doing over on Discord. Hey, what's a good? Shout out to Oyana Tao. What y'all up to? Solstice one, yeah. Yeah, it's the first one. You guys are doing the challenges? I'll probably join y'all after this.
You're a tad late for this skirmish. Or early. Either way, you must have seen the Vex going about their deterministic routines by now. They're dug in, and trying to assimilate everything around them. They mean to turn a sphere to a circle here, so to speak. We have an advantage, in that the Vex who are exposed to dark matter find themselves caught in a thick, yellow confusion. The presence of the Nine here resists Vex probing with dense air, but it's thinning. We need to address this. I haven't been able to get close enough for a detailed assessment, but you can.
Fire team. I'll be overseeing this operation. I want to stay focused and on task.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Nothing has changed. No matter who I was, I'm still Ikora Rey. Orin, status.
The Vex are watching this place. Rifles strung up in the cliffs. We need to break pottery. Tear it down.
Orin's right. Perimeter scans show Vex signatures, and they've converted the old HCO networks into a sort of security lattice.
She's also right about tearing it down. Keep your focus on the present and find a way through. Without active surveillance, you'll be able to move through the surrounding canyons without tripping Vex security every 10 paces.
Sidearms too. Trials, you have to have the DLC. What are you guys playing? Scorched or just normal?
Taking the Vex's security lattice offline revealed something, Guardian. There's a massive dampening field that extends to the area we know 3 is behind. It's a barrier to entry, but from these readings, that isn't its purpose. Rather, it's stopping anything from getting out.
I'm seeing that too. It's the same type of quarantine protocol the Vex use to close off damaged portions of their network.
They must want to prevent the Singularity expanding too. But we'll need to remove it to get to 3.
I remember something else now. A hooked request. There's a message I'm to remember here. Oh, it feels like a decompression, like plugged ears. What I mean is the 9 are holding something back from me. I think I know. I remember. Or will. I want to help.
Yeah. Well, Sony's already had them integrate into PlayStation Studios, so they already took over one of their projects, Gummy Bears. See what happens. Yeah, you have to do the activities they'll drop, and then you could use your capsules and all that to grab it.
The dampening field signal is coming from this direction, but it looks like there's a branching point.
I see it. They're disseminating the dampening signal to hundreds of frames. This is a code fix. They've recognized their vulnerability to the Nine's energy and are adjusting.
It's still only noise. Tear down the signal and they'll die in the quiet.
Portal. Me neither. I don't even like the challenges this season. I like the old way the challenges were.
I think we
The
can get
weekly
through here
stories.
now. The signal's getting stronger, and it looks like I was wrong before. The dampening broadcast isn't emitting from one point, it's three. Wait, there's something else. There's an old colonial research terminal still running from when the Ionians landed here. I didn't notice it until we were close, but it looks like the Zets are trying to access it.
Interesting. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Bring down the dampening broadcast, and in the chaos, we'll crush their incursion into the old colony systems.
Your plan is cracked knuckles. I like it.
They're gonna nerf the progression, I believe next week.
I'm glad we're taking the direct route. Without you, Guardian, my steps would be mouse squeaks in the floorboard. I've always been more gauntlets and thunder.
We don't have time to be anything but gate crashers. It's the Guardian's forte anyway. If you're looking for quiet, Orin, come back to the city with us when this is over. Rebuild your life in your own hands.
The city sounds like bitter medicine. We'll see. My head is buzzing.
That is not a tower. The broadcasts are coming from those giant minotaurs. Stay low, Guardian. Look, another concentration of dark matter. Might help keep us out of harm's way. Projectors nearby, but it's protected by a security lens. One step at a time, Guardian. This should help us get to the security lens.
Yeah. Adding in the raids
Check
to
their
give you
shields.
pinnacles. They're
The
gonna add in
interference
the
is dying
weapons to
down.
give you pinnacles.
Let the pine
So
lance
they're fixing a
splinter,
couple
Guardian.
things
Charge!
that they were supposed to do that people are complaining about. Yeah. Yeah, they try to base everything on. Yeah, they try to base everything on food. I'm about to get fucking murdered.
9. Punch through that Vex interference.
Right. No. Yeah, yeah.
Vision of you, Guardian. A timely message. A globe spins below you, the planets above. An event into the encoded horizon. I see it. You. The message as a weapon. The weapon is the message. Fate forged. 9 hammer strikes ring. Scattered sparks. Cupped in hands. A weapon. In the rising heat, I see a fashioned mallhead. Heavy in its arc, it smashes everything that would stop its descent. No volition in given roles. Smoke. It's gone. Damn. Damn! I could almost see it!
You did great, Orin. Guardian. Seems like the 9 have their eyes on you, too.
Establishing uplink. Wait. These are detailed records of the collapse.
They catalogue the 9's presence as much as the collapse. The Vex study seeds planted in the past to understand how the 9 wove plots around the paracausal.
This data is a playbook for emulating the 9. Orin, do they
Just
know
a
we
raid.
can stop the Vex here?
Of course. They know that we need to move the Vex aside to reach the singularity. 3. Agency is a quantum indeterminate. Known hope. I remember they spoke like that.
I'm glad your head's clearing up. I quantum indeterminate that soon you'll be able to make more sense of this than I can.
Only the quarantine is between us and our answers. I can hear victory screaming like fire.
I say the pulse rifle is pretty good too. Especially if you get at tier 5.
Lodi. The Guardian found an archive of analytical data the Ionians had recorded during the collapse. I think you deserve to see it.
Really? That's right. That's incredible. Anything, and I mean anything that fills in the gaps between then and now would be mighty appreciated.
I think we're dealing with the inner orbits. Dangling an answer from a string is as clear as they get. Sun through Mars. The 9 are tethered by sentience and Sol's celestial bodies. They have a lot of time to bicker. The inner want to talk, the outer less so. It's an impasse.
So we're just swept up in the tides of a grand cosmic plan?
No. Placed. With intention. I, to mentor the new emissary. Drifter's been used for years. The Guardian, something yet to be. And you, Ikora, arranged to hear the message you were promised.
I don't plan on being a sacrificial lamb for the 9. Our destiny isn't up to some unknowable architect. It's ours.
Yeah, they unlock.
Scans are picking up a lot of moving radiolaria beneath the surface. Are they trying to assimilate Kepler?
Can't allow a Vex conversion to happen. Our own investigation aside, the Ionians call this place home.
We won't save them from the singularity just to lose them to the Vex. Crush the eye of the needle and the thread will choke.
The Vex here aren't a splinter faction. The Conductor is leading them.
Oh, Sundaresh. Her motives smack of unfinished business and desperation.
If she's here in person, it can't be good. Last we saw her, we learned how cruel she could be, even to her loved ones.
You mean Shioma? I remember the two of them were lost in the Vex network. How is this what became of them?
Keoma was horrified by what Maya became, and Maya couldn't handle that. We know how she works. That gives us an edge, even if she's dangerous. Guardian, that machine looks like another time-lost invitation, similar to the one that empowered you before.
If the Nine want to give you power, who are we to refuse?
Now that's something. I can see you now. When you're all spherical like that, it's almost like a star in the sky. We're connected through a chain of dark matter. It's in everything.
If it's a chain linking to your enemies, use it to pull them apart.
A little violent, but if the situation calls for it.
I'm streaming it on Twitch right now. I'm just every week doing the Edge of Fate story. Once I hit level 100 on the season pass, I'm taking a break. Oh yeah. Yep. Almost forgot about that. 150. 150 doesn't exist, but technically it does. You still gotta grind it to get to 110. And there's only, here, let's see, how many days left in the season pass? 27 days. Yeah, real fucking nice. 4 weeks. we came right after the cracker.
That Vex mine was controlling the flow of radiolaria. Without it, their assimilation of Kepler will stall.
I know Maya
Go see
Sundaresh and her schism.
Asmongold's
The
last,
shield was
last video.
an anti-paracausal
That
shell.
shit had me rolling.
It is a spark of the Nine, derived from their power. I recognize its shallow anxiety. Kepler harbors their influence.
You aren't suggesting they're helping each other? The Conductor and the Nine?
No. This place has always been touched by the Nine. The Vex exploit it somehow. I
Yeah.
can put this together, Ikora. I promise.
I thought most Vex malfunctioned when they were exposed to dark matter. But that new shielding incorporated it.
The Nine don't dabble in coincidence, and everything here is lining up too well. If the Vex are stealing power, the Nine are at least allowing it.
I'd rather not think of the implications of that.
Yeah.
You've lived too long to carbonate in guesses. This time was planned, but not for the Vex. I remember that much.
Got me, 3. I'm paying attention now. I hate these even more. Focus, Ray. Here and now. You're entering the Vex exclusion zone, Guardian. Find how they're co-opting the Nine's power and put a stop to it.
Deep scans are picking up dark matter and deep mantle drilling. This place looks like a quarry geared towards mining out the anomaly's power.
So they're using 3 on the other side to strengthen their shields. You can't remove all the dark matter, but we can neutralize the threat long enough to push deeper into the canyons. I want this refinery in flames, Guardian. Orin, how does dark matter relate to the Nine? My understanding is it's non-reflective and has odd qualities, but is still natural.
The Nine are, in simple terms, made of dark matter. It tangles with enough mass, like they do.
So the Vex are tapping dark matter from the anomaly, and that matter is tangled with the Nine's power? That must be what the Vex are keeping contained. Some live wire that lets them tap into whatever the Nine were doing, and reprogram it.
carrying a lot of energy. Probably enough to shatter that conflux pylon. That should lower the barrier and let us out.
You are here. This is where they refine their power.
Wait, I'm picking up Elixir signatures. The House of Exile just ignited a glimmer drill.
One enemy force stealing the Nine's power is enough. Shut down their operation. Then we deal with the Vex.
That's the last of the exiles. Now for the Vex. Guardian, you're looking for a series of conversion engines tied to conflux pylons.
Like I said, Guardian. Leave it in flames.
The last converter. Refiner. Whatever. The Vex can't convert any more dark matter. Wait. Vex mine incoming!
The Overseer, who holds Hourglass Sands.
I bet they break just the same.
The Titan in me is blushing.
Shielded. Our weapons won't work.
You'll need the Nine's power to punch through.
God bless you.
Why would the Vex need the Nine for shielding? I've seen a Minotaur phase through time to dodge an attack.
Against something paracausal, that phasing is a coin flip. The fourth dimension doesn't have that hindrance.
Knowing the Nine can subvert our agency is bad enough. But you're saying they can predict futures the Vex can't?
The Vex find a future that suits them. The Nine engineer one through. Intermediaries and pressure.
Surely they follow some rules.
Ikora, I know what it feels like to have your autonomy brushed aside. That woman is dead, and Lodi worked hard to protect her memory. But in the eyes of the Nine, you exist simultaneously. A constant.
Stop, Orin. These borders matter. I know who I am. Maya's Vex co-opting Nine energy is a bad sign. Even if you don't think they're working together.
I remember her. But her transformation is a blind spot. What happened that turned her into the conductor?
A fragment of paracausal power touched down on Nessus, and one of her simulations rose out of the VexNet and claimed it. Originally, she was looking for her wife, Chioma, but the Vex she co-opted can change to individualize.
She will not find her wife here, but she will find a being who knows.
Guardian, I've got confirmed intel. The Vex mine maintaining the quarantine has the last strangelet we need to reach 3.
My final tethers to the 9 are snapping. I feel like a live wire fraying. The charge is still there, sparking at the ends.
You won't miss that power? The station? It's a lot to walk from.
The 9's power, the light, it all came from outside myself. I'm looking forward to finding what's left when that all fades away.
I'm glad to hear you say that and that you're back with us. All the power in the world isn't worth having none over yourself.
That's strange. Some of the radiolaria in the Vex down here is reading as being from... no, not our timeline. They're trying to wall off our path. We'll have to push through some familiar territory to reach the mine maintaining the dampening field.
If the Guardian dismantles it, we'll have enough Strangelet capsules to safely reach the Singularity.
And 3's on the other side with our message. One step closer to an answer. One last leap of faith. If Maya can already manipulate time, why all this friction?
Unlike the 9, they're bound by their dimension. Chronal flow applies to all. Time moves forward, never backward. I want answers too, Ikora. We're simultaneous.
No, guys, this sports entertainment. It's not a bad thing at all.
Looks like we're about to hit resistance. Get ready.
Resistance. You have reached an end, little ghost. Seeking to avert a catastrophe after the fact.
Yeah. A lot of them act after. All both of them active. All of them. Spiner. Rock.
yourself done from battle before it ever cuts deep enough to draw blood. But you will try.
It's an ambush, Guardian. Take cover. They're trying to lock us in. Clear a path and let's look for a way to disable those barriers.
This message was for me, Guardian, not you.
The Nine keeps stringing us along. Do they always get the future they determine?
Time is chord notation, the known possible scale of everything. But if the tone is set, why scheme against fate? Still, the Nine try, don't they?
Chords have variance to a degree. Tiny alterations in a range.
You're catching on. The Titan in me misses helping people. The city might do me some good.
I'm glad to hear you consider it. You could help us retake Seoul. Start small. Maybe Chicago. Heavy Vex presence ahead. They're trading fire with an exile raiding party.
But thankfully, no giant minotaurs this time.
The Archon must be using us as a distraction to breach the Vex quarantine.
Too bad they crossed paths with you, Guardian.
Have a good night.
Destroying that break deactivated a nearby exile signal. I think they had sealed off one of these buildings.
This. A door in waiting. A bridge across space.
You know, there's remnants of Elixir's technological signatures in the assimilated architecture here. The house must have been right on top of the anomaly before the Vex pushed them out.
The Archon's been trying to get back in ever since. It makes me think they'll make a push once we bring down the dampening field.
We'll need to be ready. But right now, we kill the noise. Kill the noise and hear our answers.
Damn. Oh wow. Oh.
There's static. A hook? I haven't felt this since I was emissary. One of the 9 will want to speak.
Quitter. Is that you, Buttercup? Release me from those filthy, fleshy hands.
No. My hand resigned a broken contract.
Orin, what's happening?
An unthinkable glimpse. An order. Drawing pinpoint aversion.
No, too cryptic, Quitter. You want to know how we saved you? Your big ball never tell you that. You are flimsy. For me to stay and burn a while, I'll need the one with the fetching fermions.
Ugh! Gunsmoke, stop! Speak to me, not through me. It's my will. Mine.
Quitting didn't take fully.
It did. It's me, I'm me. Those tethers I mentioned still stick to my skin.
Ain't that some law shit? Check. Well, that's legal to buy, right?
If Maya really thought she was inevitable, she wouldn't be trying to stop us. Push through.
Scrambled by a Vex disruption signal. Follow the cable, and we should find the source.
Alright guys, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna finish up my stream and go to bed. Peace.
These old human colonial outposts have been here for a long time. I wonder what they were researching before they captured this. This route will take us straight to the mine, creating the dampening field. Almost there.
You never tire of learning the same lessons. Your response is not necessary. This is not a conversation. You're only meant to listen. How readily you obey fate. A leader without agency. A discarded puppet wrapped in her wires. And the weapon. Guardian, the Nine flatter you and themselves. But my enemies do not threaten me, because I do not allow it. I command their passivity. They cannot raise their weapons.
Crowding the corners of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep and she feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
The mine's defenses are linked to a series of fused confluxes. I bet we can take it out with this.
9 crowding the corners of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep and she feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
The mine's defenses are linked to a series of shielded complexes. I bet we can take it out with this.
Crowding the corners of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep and she feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
The mine's defenses are linked to a series of shielded complexes. I bet we can take it out with this. Guardian. Bring them down. should be the final Strangelet capsule. We did it. The quarantine field is failing.
We just detected a shockwave from the Singularity.
My connection is still tethered. Ikora, I'm letting 9 in. Talk to me to talk to them.
We have questions.
Commander, answers later. Bask. Perihelion around my maypole. But I do have a message for the weapon-to-be. Guardian, we knew salt water would evaporate. Missiles aiming at solar flares would collide. Humanity was destined to burn. 3 and I, well, we looked at the Valley of Unknown Space. We saw our nature would nurture the conditions for uppercase light. Your resurrection was enabled by our hand for this purpose. Your body will be the foundation for a peace unset. For this you were positioned, set into orbit. This and 3's message to come. Always loved warming your armor, Sunshine.
The well is dry. I have no more answers. I'm sorry.
Wait, so the 9 are saying they planned for me to raise the Guardian?
We are not pawns. We determine our choices, not them. Let's get to the Altar of Relativity and get answers from 3 ourselves.
My will is my own. It's as frightening as it is freeing. Don't misunderstand me. I didn't choose to be a Lightbearer. I did choose to be an emissary. And I chose to leave. I don't miss either life. I choose to bear truth. To share fragments I've stowed away from beyond the borders of known space. The knowledge I keep will save others. But first, there is a piece of myself that I left buried to grow in old soil. My ghost, Gaul. We planted violet petals from the Golden Age. My hands, their shell. After we leave here, that's where I'll go. One brief respite until fate calls us back to right the impossible.
Everyone, we have the last Strangelet capsule. Guardian, we need to take this to the Altar of Relativity and get that door open.
This is it. I'm finally gonna learn why I'm here. Big moment. For all of you too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Round of congrats to everyone. But we're not out of the doghouse yet.
Drifter's right. I'm sure the Archon will be on the move soon now that the quarantine is down. And when he does...
Quiet. Yes, you have reached your goal and torn down my collective's quarantine. This is marginally impressive, but not beyond expectations. You are free to enter and play out your adventure. As I have said, I concluded my business there long ago. All that is left is to see if the Guardians really do make their own fate. Or if you will let the 9 puppeteer your power to their whims. Remember that it is they who manipulated you. They who spent your lives so recklessly to save themselves. They who see you as something less. All I am doing is all I have ever done. Improving a broken system. You may remain shielded. or be drawn into a losing battle. Goodbye, Guardian.
Guardian, drop everything you're doing. The reactor for the Academy is experiencing criticality. If we don't hold Meltdown, it'll bury not just the Ionians, but trigger the Singularity's expansion. It's all at risk. Guardian, lead us in.
Alright guys, we're gonna leave it at a cliffhanger there tonight. Next week, we'll finish off the last couple steps of Destiny 2 Edge of Fate. And from there on, we'll check every weekly reset and do your side quest. For now, before we end the night, we gotta check the Eververse store. Alright, so this week in the Eververse store, of course, There's a Solstice Armor Celebration sets. Alright, the Seaside sets. Grillmaster Shell. Solstice 2025 shaders. The Flutterby package. And on the bottom for Bright Dust, Glimmer Shard. The No Fair emote. Let's take a look at that. Micro Mini. Sparrow. Wings of the Firebird. Just the ship. Seashell projection. Refined Revels. Well, Refined Revels shader. Vintage Timber shader. Alright. Then for Bright Dust, we got Hot Dog Eating Champ. Hey yo. Oh nah. It's the Glizzy Champ there. Roller Dance. Try to be like T.I. rollerblading. Sweet Sprinkle Shell. Scout Zeppelin. Oh, it looks like a blimp. That's pretty dope. Quadricycle. Sparrow. And Splendid Vidua. Ornament for the Wither Horde. It's kind of dope. Kind of gives it like a Gallifreyan feel. Getting that. And then there's the Vacation projection shell, which standard summer almost. Definitely grab that. And then for Flare, there's the Tangerine Gloss shader, Oil Dalje shader, Bruce Blush. It's kind of dope. Golden Age Wine. And then for Transmit Effects, the Beach Wall effect. Sandcastle effect. And the Warsat Rival. And for the consumable, Glimmer Shards. So, those are end of the night. Grab a couple things that we have here. First Contact show. Looks pretty cool deal wise. Alright. That concludes our night. You guys have a great night. And peace.